What up, guys? So today's video is going to be about the magical powers of the Jiu-Jitsu belts. You'll know what I mean in a second. So got a question from Bob, who wants to remain anonymous. He says a lot of the people at his gym watch the videos. And so he says that recently he was promoted to purple belt with his two other buddies. They both kind of came up together, or they all kind of came up together at the same time. They started around the gym at the same time. They trained together, the whole deal. And when they recently got promoted to purple belt together, and he says that when he's standing there with his buddies, and he looks at the two of them, they're much better than him. Like when they roll, they get the better of him consistently. And so he feels like many people do. He feels like an imposter. He's like, I don't belong here. These guys are so much better than me. I don't belong in this place. And so he sends me the message. He says, Chewy, I know this is just imposter syndrome, but I don't feel good enough to represent the rank where, I have these two guys standing with me. When I compare myself to these guys, any advice from the Chewster? So, brother, thank you for the question. And yeah, I got a couple ideas to chew on. So you might this might happen, I don't know. You might experience the magical powers of the Jiu-Jitsu belt. What am I talking about? So years ago, I've started noticing this, and I've seen this happen time and time again, where someone will be kind of on the edge, right? Because as you're promoting people in your gym, a lot of times you're looking at how they do on the mats. How effective are they when you compare them to their peers? And you'll notice that sometimes there's always going to be, or not sometimes, all the time, there's always going to be some that are better than others, that kind of thing. But you start to notice that there's always kind of the runt of the litter, if you'll sort of use that term, and they're the ones that aren't doing as well. And you promote them, because they've been there a long time, they've been putting in their time and effort, they're trying their damnedest, but for some reason they're having some sort of block and you don't see them progressing. Every now and then I have a feeling, can't quite put my finger on why I have that feeling sometimes, but I have that feeling, and I've been right about it more than I've been wrong. You promote someone, you say, here you go, man, you're promoted with them. And it's interesting to watch how all of a sudden they just rapidly progress right after having this belt. Seen it happen so many times at different belt levels, not just like blue belt, but blue, purple, brown, and even black belt. I think that this happened to me in black belt. Now, what's so magical about it? Why are they making rapid progress after getting promoted to the new belt? Is it the ink in the belt? Of course not, right? It's not that. It doesn't make any sense. It has to do with the mindset, right? This is why a lot of times the videos in these that I do with you guys are about mindset, because, I've seen guys, you guys, like, it's so wild to watch. I've had guys that were athletic freaks that had the genetics people would kill for, that, there's one fighter that came into our gym years ago. I mean, this dude, he came in, he looked like a heavyweight, ripped to shreds. Literally, people would say, who's your heavyweight? I'm like, oh, that's our 85er. The guy was ripped to shreds. When he would punch heavy bags, he literally would fold them in half with his legs. So much power. He had good technique, but for whatever reason, mentally, he would just quit. I don't know what it was. And he didn't even realize how big and powerful and effective he was. I remember before one of his MMA fights, and I'm rubbing like his shoulders, and I'm getting him ready, and I'm just talking to him like, hey man, you got this. Trying to keep him that positive motivation right there in his ear so his head doesn't go in the wrong place. And he's looking at the guy in front of him because they're getting ready to walk out. And he's like, Chewy, he looks huge. And I'm like having to shake him out of it, right? He goes through, wins the fight handedly. But there's guys like that, right? It's a mindset thing. And as soon as you can get the mindset in the right place, boom, the body can take over. I think of it as like a jet. You can have the most advanced fighter jet, right, that has ever existed. But if you got a crappy pilot directing the thing, it doesn't mean anything. So the mindset's really important. And so what you'll find sometimes, bro, and this is what I've seen numerous times, is all of a sudden people's mindset shifts as soon as they get promoted to a new belt, right? I've seen where some of my students have told me that the pressure's off. They got promoted to the new belt. I feel good. I feel like, hey, the coach believes in me. I'm at the bottom of the barrel again. I used to be a good white belt or a good blue belt. Now I'm a, bottom of the barrel blue belt, bottom of the barrel purple belt. And now I'm just working back up and I feel less pressure. And then sometimes I've had where students said that once they were promoted, they felt like an imposter. And they're like, I got to step my game up. I got to get better. That's how I felt as a young black belt, right? I was like, okay, I'm a black belt now. I've got to improve. I've got to step the bar up. I've got to raise the bar. And so what I would tell you, Bob, is that your coach sees in you something that made them want to promote you. Don't ask questions. Don't be overcritical of yourself. A lot of us are really bad about being overcritical of ourselves, and we don't really have a good objective view of ourselves. Trust in that. And if you do feel some level of imposter syndrome, understand it's normal. Anytime you step up, to the next level, it's kind of normal, but use it as motivation. Instead of letting it bother you and feel bad and all that stuff, using it as motivation. So, all right, cool. I'm at this new level. My coach believes in me. It's time for me to step my game up. Maybe you need to be more detailed about your diet and training outside of the gym and your sleep so you can perform better in the gym. Maybe you just need to be a little bit more focused when you're training. Maybe you need to be more focused when you're doing your open rolls rather than just kind of going through the motions so you get more improvement out of it. Whatever it is, right? Or maybe you talk to your coach. Hey, what would you like to see me do? Whatever it is, you can step your game up and be better because of it, and use that belt that you have to wrap around your waist or that rash guard with a certain color, whatever it is, use it as a motivator. Say, put that belt around. Okay, today I got to live up to being a purple belt or whatever it is, right? So you can use that idea. I've seen that happen plenty of times. And again, I think it's just when people mentally decide that they are going to step their game up and they're going to hold themselves to a higher standard, they force themselves to do it. And so I've seen that happen so many times. I give someone a belt and then boom, all of a sudden they make this rapid progress right afterwards. I literally had a blue belt do this last year where we promoted him and instantly, all of a sudden he somehow got better. I even literally the next week talked to him, said, hey, do you feel a difference in your game? Because I rolled with you today and I feel different. I'm watching you roll and you look different, And I've also seen guys where one of my brown belts thinking about him when I promoted him to brown belt. Okay, purple belt, promote him to brown belt. All of a sudden, he's right there in the thick of it with the pack of my brown belts. And again, I can't help but think it's just a mindset thing where all of a sudden he's having to hold himself to that standard. And that's where he's measuring himself. So anyways, just an idea to chew on. Use it as a motivator. Use it to light a fire under your butt, bro. Instead of thinking of it as a bad thing or letting imposter syndrome really bother you. Just now you got to rise to a new challenge. So hopefully it helps you, brother. Thanks for the question. Talk to you guys next time.